and thinking to myself, do you all know who I am? And of course, I'm nobody. But I'm thinking, do you know who I am? Because
that's the one and only Stevie Nicks, whose songs have touched the lives of millions.
I am somebody. In fact, I am actually a rock star already. Because in my heart, I was.
A woman who once filled stadiums with thousands of screaming fans now spends her mornings walking barefoot through her garden, talking to flowers and writing letters to friends who are no longer alive. This is the reality of Stevie Nicks today. And when you hear her story, you might understand why her current life feels both beautiful and deeply sad at the same time. At 77 years old, Stevie Nicks lives in a world that most of us can barely imagine. She has everything money can buy, but the things she wants most are the very things she can never have back. Her youth, her voice at its peak, her best friend Robin, and the children she never had. Today, we're going to take you inside the quiet, lonely world of one of rock music's greatest legends. And you might be surprised by what you discover. Stevie Nicks didn't choose to be alone. Life chose it for her, one heartbreak at a time. Born as Stephanie Lynn Nicks in 1948, she grew up moving from city to city because of her father's job. She never really fit in anywhere, so she learned to create her own world through music. Her grandfather was the first person who really believed in her, and when he bought her 150 vinyl records, he was giving her more than just music. He was giving her a language to speak about pain and love, and all the complicated feelings that most people keep hidden inside. When Stevie got her first guitar at 16, she wrote a song with the line, "I've loved and I've lost, and I'm sad, but not blue." Even as a teenager, she understood something that would follow her for the rest of her life. She could be wounded but still keep going. She could have her heart broken over and over again, but still find a way to turn that pain into something beautiful. But here's where the sadness really begins. Stevie's entire adult life has been shaped by relationships that started with incredible promise, but ended in devastate. Then came Don Henley from the Eagles. Their relationship seemed different at first, more equal, more understanding. But when Stevie became pregnant with his child, she faced an impossible choice. Her career was exploding, her solo album was about to be released, and she felt like she couldn't be both a mother and the artist she was meant to be. She chose to end the pregnancy, a decision that broke her heart and never stopped hurting. The song Sarah was written partly about the daughter they named, but never had. Even today, decades later, you can hear the pain in Stevie's voice when she sings it. After Don came Jimmy Iovine, the producer who helped create her first solo album. He believed in her music, but he also wanted to control every aspect of her career and her image. Slowly, Stevie felt like she was losing herself, becoming someone else's vision instead of her own. When she finally walked away, she had a successful album, but felt empty inside. The only man Stevie ever said she could have married was Joe Walsh from the Eagles. With him, she found something rare, a man who didn't try to change her or control her or put her on a pedestal. He just saw her for who she really was. But even this beautiful relationship couldn't survive the pressures of their careers and their personal struggles. Years later, she would write a song about the loss of his young daughter, showing that even after their romance ended, she still carried his pain in her heart. But perhaps the most heartbreaking chapter of Stevie's life came when her best friend Robin died of leukemia, just days after giving birth to a baby boy. Robin had been Stevie's anchor to normal life, the one person who knew her before the fame and loved her anyway. When Robin died, Stevie's grief was so overwhelming that she made a decision that shocked everyone. She married Robin's husband, Kim Anderson, thinking she could.
She spends hours writing in journals, just like she has every single day since the mid-1970s. Hundreds of journals now fill the drawers of her studio, filled with thoughts, memories, and letters to people who are no longer alive. She says that when she dies, her godchildren can read through them and finally understand who she really was behind all the fame and the mystery. The truth is, Stevie Nicks is worth about $120 million. But money can't buy back the things she really wants. She can't buy back her youth or her voice at its peak. She can't bring back Robin or the children she never had. She can't undo the mistakes she made or the hearts she broke along the way. What she has instead is a quiet kind of peace, the kind that comes from finally accepting that some wounds never fully heal. Her health has been fragile in recent years. She battled pneumonia and suffered complications from COVID that left her wondering if she would ever sing again. The woman who once commanded stages in front of 50,000 people now gets tired easily and has to be careful about crowds and germs. She drives modest cars now, a classic Cadillac and a Mercedes, nothing too flashy, nothing that screams for attention. When she does perform these days, which is rare, she appears on stage like a ghost in velvet, still wearing her signature flowing black clothes and platform boots, but moving more slowly, singing more carefully. The magic is still there, but it's softer now, more fragile, like a candle flame that could go out at any moment. The saddest part of Stevie's story might be that she achieved everything she dreamed of as a young woman, but the cost was almost everything else that makes life meaningful. She never had children of her own, never had a lasting marriage, never had that simple, quiet love that most people take for granted. She gave everything to her music, and her music gave her fame and fortune and a place in history, but it couldn't give her the warmth of a family or the comfort of growing old with someone who truly knew her. Every day, fans still leave letters at her gate. Women write to tell her how her songs helped them through divorces and deaths and broken dreams. Men write to say they understood heartbreak better because of her music. Nurses play her songs during long night shifts, and mothers sing them to their children. Stevie reads these letters, and sometimes she writes back, because she understands that her pain became other people's comfort, and maybe that was always the point. She once said that her mission in life wasn't to be a wife or a mother, but to write songs for the women who are wives and mothers, to give them a voice for feelings they couldn't express themselves. In that way, she succeeded beyond her wildest dreams. Her songs have been the soundtrack to millions of people's lives, the music they turn to when they need to cry or remember or feel less alone in the world. But still, when you imagine her now in that small house, walking through her garden at dawn, writing in her journals by candlelight, talking to memories and ghosts, it's hard not to feel sad for everything she missed. She's surrounded by the echoes of all the love she gave away in her songs, but the house itself is quiet, and at the end of the day, she sleeps alone. Maybe that's the price of being a legend. Maybe some people are meant to burn so brightly that they light up the world for everyone else, even if it means they spend their final years in the gentle darkness of their own solitude. Stevie Nicks gave us the soundtrack to our hearts, but the cost was her own happiness. And now she lives with the beautiful, sad echo of all the love she sang about but never got to keep. The next time you hear Landslide or Dreams or any of her other songs, remember that behind that mystical, powerful voice was always just a woman who loved too deeply, trusted too completely, and paid the price for turning her pain into our healing. If Stevie Nicks' music has ever meant something to you, if her songs have ever helped you through a difficult time or made you feel less alone, then hit that like button right now. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this story, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories about the music legends who shaped our world. Their sacrifices gave us the songs that define our lives, and the least we can do is remember their stories and honor what they gave up for our sake.